So then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Boom, I have a new shape. That's all I wanted you to do. Now, was the confusion in the fact that I said create 2 base figures? Okay, again, I explained that like 4 times in class, that you needed 2 different figures. So that's my first base figure. And then what do I need to do? Make another one. Look at you go. Take a point. So then, and then I would do the same thing. That's it. That's all I wanted you to do. Wow. And you could have come to zero period and done that, couldn't you? Or you could have messaged me on Remind or emailed me, right? Or stopped by at any point during the day, but you're lazy. So, now, does anybody have any questions on reflections? Do you understand how we get the new coordinates? Because all you have to do is what? Look at the notes and follow the rules. Take a point. So today we are going to talk about translations. So please get this out. Does anybody need to see the table of contents one more time before we start? We're ready? Cool. So today we're going to do translations. And what does the translation look like in that picture of the creepy smiley face that looks like it's dead inside? Yes, it's changing sectors or sections on a vector. Take a point. Yes. It is. Alright, so a translation moves every point of a figure the same distance and the same direction. So it's in the same distance and the same direction for the same length. Does everybody understand? It can be described by the mapping notation that looks like this. Are we ready? Yes. Are we sure? Can we handle this? Yes. So the first one we're going to do, we're not actually going to graph it. We're just going to list our vertices and then we're going to move it. And then we're going to graph the others together. Plus, I don't know if you just died or what happened.
A little bit of both.
Okay. Alright, so our first one, it says quadrilateral ABCD has vertices of A, this, B, this, C, this, D, this. And its image has a translation of 12 and negative 5. So we're moving the X, how many units? We're moving the Y, how many units? Fantastic. Let's figure out what the new coordinates are. Is everybody ready? So let's write down negative 1, 8, 2, 12, 5, 8, and negative 1, negative 2. Now, this is called a vector, which means that that's how it moves it. And it's moving it positive 12 units and negative 5 units. So positive 12 on the X, negative 5 on the Y. So each time, you're going to add 12 to your X value, and then what are you going to do to your Y value? Subtract 5. So it'll be negative 1 plus 12 and 8 minus 5. What's our new coordinate? Good. Take a point. Does everybody understand how we got that? Does anybody not understand? If you're confused, you need to speak up before we go to the next one. Because all we did was we plugged in our X here and our Y here. Alright, so now we have 2 plus 12 and 12 minus 5. So what's our new coordinate there? Take a point. So how is it moving on the x-axis? Is it moving it up or down? And how is it moving on the y? Awesome. All right, for C, you would do 5 plus 12 And 8 minus 5. So what's that new coordinate? What are we?
23. Like,
17. What did you add together, boo-boo?
I put 8, never mind.
Oh, okay. We're better now? Okay, look at us go. All right, and then the last one, I want you to do that last one without me. Don't shout it out. Are you already done? Yes. There we go. Is it about how you shouldn't have gum in your mouth?
No. Because I got up and when I was leaving at 5 o'clock in the morning, my backyard gate was wide open. It was my dog.
Oh no. Oh, Blair.
You almost, you don't do that. You don't almost do that.
He said
All right, who said that? Curtis. We are voting you off the island, son. Like, we done? No. 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 No.
So you just be shooting loose dogs?
No. No. That is not what we do. You terrible, terrible human being.
This man is literally the devil. Would you put them and eat them?
No, you do what Joseph says. You take them in and push them on Facebook. That's
Okay, did we get 11, -7 as our new coordinate? Fantastic, yes. It's -2 minus 5. Not +2. Yeah, that's an easy fix. Okay, are we ready to do the next one and then graph it?
Yes.
Are we sure?
I don't think Curtis is.
I think he's too busy murdering dogs.
I'm glad that we have documentation of this video for him murdering animals.
Curtis, I'm gonna.
So that when he becomes a serial killer, we can go back to this video. On April 10th, 2018 at 9:30, Curtis Brown admitted that he shoots dogs.
Today was 11. I forgot anybody about how much fun that day on the husband. So I was on YouTube like I was cool and they posted this video and I'm like, what am I watching?
All right, so graph quadrilateral ABCD with the vertices there, and its image after the translation that. Now, how could we write that translation another way?
What do you mean?
What do you mean by writing another?
It's, what are we adding to x here?
3.
Okay,
So you just add 3.
like that. So sometimes you're going to see it as move the quadrilateral along the vector, and it's going to give you the vector as a coordinate. So then if your x is positive, you're going to add it to your x values. If your y is negative, you're going to subtract it. What if your x was negative? What would you do? And if your y was positive, you would? Fantastic. So it depends on what the coordinate is. Now, you're going to be able to see it two different ways. We're going to write it like this, and we're going to write it like this because we're fancy. All right, so let's start by writing down our coordinates. So we have a -1, 2, -1, 5, 4, 6, 4, 2. And I want us to graph that image first before we start translating. Yes. No.
Well, you just were.
Kindness, children.
Okay.
Are we ready? Do we need a mow still? What's happening?
Everybody.
A mow?
Can I go on a 3? Thank you.
Yeah. If you think you can do it, do it.
Why am I struggling with drawing the freaking shape? Because
Great. Kindness.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, what am I going to add to each of my x values? And what am I going to subtract from my y? So it would be -1 plus 3 and 2 minus 1. What's our new coordinate?
2, 1.
Good, take a point. Now, does it help you to have that process column in the middle that we can write each time? Or can you do it without it?
I mean, it's helpful, but you can do it.
Okay. If it's yum, 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 yum.
It's kind of neutral.
If it's helpful, let's keep doing it.
It's like you like candy, but you can go without it.
What kind of analogy is that?
Life, but it's candy, right?
Okay.
That's true. You like it, so it's candy.
All right, can you do C and D without me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like if anybody else in the world would have stumbled across these videos on YouTube, they'd like report our school.
I don't know, my best friend didn't get something and I told her there was a video about our notes and she went and watched it and she asked questions about what we were saying.
Did she understand the lesson?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
She kind of don't.
See, that's the thing.
It's still recording.
See, you don't question.
Oh, she knows. I already told her this. And she's like, yeah, I know.
They ain't your homie unless you can truly crack them.
Right.
They ain't yo homie.
Wise words.
Unless you can. I just.
I'm talking about Cameron.
I'm talking about Justin. The words I'm going to say stay with the
Don't.
friends on people here. Grab the class. Just wait till you get longer. Yeah. Let me judge it. I mean, you be thinking some mean stuff when you leave this ass week. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm so like these kids are fine. It's going to take me long again.
You know I say it to your face, though.
I feel like you said a little bit more behind that.
All right, did y'all get your new shape to look like that? What happened? Why? Where? Right here? Okay, so it said to add 3 and subtract 1, right? So that's all I did. I took my x value and I added 3 and then I subtracted 1 from my y. And I got 2, 1. And then I did the same thing here. So to -1, I added 3 and then from 5 I subtracted 1 and I got 2, 4. So then from 4, I'm going to add 3 and from 6 I'm going to subtract 1. I just didn't write that step down. Does that help? Okay. All right, now I'm going to give everybody a minute and I want you to look at number. Okay, so I got 3, -4, 5, -3, 2, 1, -2, -1.
Yeah.
How did we do?
Decent.
Okay, now we're ready to draw our new shape. So we should go right 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2, 3, 4, and that becomes what? A prime. Take a point. And then right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 1, 2, 3. What does that become? Take a point. Right 2, up 1. What does that become? Look at us go. And then left 2, down 1. What does that become? Good job. All right, how many of you have the correct coordinates? Oh, Blair. And the correct graph, unlike my squiggly line. Good job. If 2 people at the table got it, take a point.
She's a She was doing like
Okay. Now, on page 63, which is going to be on the back of page 62 in your handy-dandy notebook, we're going to write down our classwork / homework for today.
Oh, yes. Love that. Homework.
Yeah.
nothing.
Except you only have to translate it once because we're just doing it across a vector, right? I don't know yet. Nothing makes me happier, not more happy.
And this is why
She's not. She's on her stool.
Miss Asbury.
Yes.
The bottom of the page.
Yes.
And the other one.
Yes, darling.
Okay.
If you need to use the bottom of your page from 62, do that. That's fine. Whatever makes you happy. I guess you need to go get a notebook.
I mean, it's at my house. I mean, I know where it is. But
All right. I can draw translations in the coordinate plane.
Can I really?
I would hope so after that lesson, but if not, then I guess we're going to be practicing, right?
Okay. Watch your mouth. Suck it, dog.
My first period teacher never even showed up. Who's your first period? She seems like it. Like, she didn't even like call for it.
Is she okay? I hope so too.
She good, dog?
I don't want to snort.
I don't think she good.
All right. So the directions say, graph each figure and its image along the given vector. So this is where I'm going to give it to you as a coordinate. So I'm going to give you a shape, I'm going to give you the vector as a coordinate, and you're going to have to figure out how to translate it. Are we ready?
Yes.
How many problems do we want?
1, 2,
1,
1, 0.
3.
0. Oh my gosh, I can't.
If you don't master it at 1, then you can make us do a lot.
No.
Hey, bro, you stop talking.
Yeah, we banned you from talking. You don't.
Dogs out here, man.
Yeah. You don't get a choice.
All right. We're going to start with a triangle. MNP. With vertices. In the face with your pen. Why? I don't know what's happening anymore.
That's me always.
Alright, and then the vector is going to be, this is how you write a vector. It's super fun. It is. Okay, so this time, are we going to add 2 to our x's, or are we going to subtract 2 to our x's? Why? Because it's negative. To our y values, what are we going to do?
Add 5.
Take a point. Whoa. Whoa.
Yes, I am.
I like how we ignore how this lady in the office is having trouble.
If you listening in on us, I'm very convinced.
I would.
Hey, lady.
It's because Curtis is a dog.
Yeah, that's
She called the police.
the FBI was like,
Hey, y'all leave me alone with that.
No, Curtis. No, you don't get a free pass on that. That's not how this works.
Leave those dogs alone.
I'll dash you dog.
I guess.
You know I do remember.
Dog murderers talk
Do
crazy.
it on the weekend. It's a hobby.
See, I heard something outside my window. So I grabbed my gun. So I jumped up. And I was like,
I'm praying for all
and
the
I ain't
dogs
see,
that
I ain't turn on the light. I ain't turn on my light, and my dog, he black, so.
So you
So I ain't see it. So my dad wake up and he was like, he turned on his light, and then it was right there, and then I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And then my dog was like, wait, he would have got shot.
It says graph each figure and its image along the given vector. Okay, so what I want you to do for your homework is I want you to write the new coordinates just like we did in the notes. Just like we did in the notes. Okay? This is our given stuff. And then I want to see the new coordinates for your image using this vector. And what else do you have to do? Graph it. You have 10 minutes, so do it now. Does everybody understand?
Yes.
Right now, so that we can ask questions if we're confused. You're just doing 2. No, baby. You're graphing it, and I want you to write down the new vertices of your new image with the vector, just like what we did in our notes.
Wait, but don't you have to give us a way?
Yes. Yes.
A what? The thing for the little point?
It's, okay, so this time I'm giving it to you as a vector. So instead of, you can rewrite it as x minus 2 and, ooh, Blair, you shouldn't have that there, and y plus 5.
Oh, I did the same thing on my list before. Yeah, we
Yeah.
asked it though.
Okay, so here, would we add or subtract for this one?
We would
And then we would also add on a y, because they're both positive. So that's all you're doing.
So, Curtis, you did.